Somehow, along the way to retirement, you and I lose that sense of blessing that is described about work in Genesis 1. Somehow along the way, work becomes less about having fun and more about survival and success. Work becomes less about blessing and more about stress. Somehow, we find ourselves far away from that Garden of Eden, don't we? It's clear. You and I are not in that garden of blessing anymore, and for most of us, finding the way back is almost impossible. And that, my dear friends, is where you and I, as faithful Christians, have an important message to tell the world. The truth is, you and I do live in a world that's fallen. You and I aren't in the garden anymore. We do live in a Genesis 3 world. But our story doesn't end at Genesis 3. No, if you keep reading, you will find that we have a gospel. Good news. We have a Redeemer who is the antidote to all that is broken and fallen and tainted in our lives and in this world. And what that means is that Jesus can get us back to that original blessing that we find in Genesis 1. When we align our lives with Christ, we can find our way back to the garden. And when we do, we begin to remember that work is less about an external voice calling us, driving us to be something that we're not. Our original call to work was God's voice calling us simply to fulfill the original design.